Oh, wow, they
Brock
need to
Purdy.
hit him and take the penalty? That's the crazy. I would have thought Milwaukee would say that. That's like some Philly. I don't even think Philadelphia said that last year when they were going to the NFC Championship game, and they get all this slack. This sounds like to me just like I'm desperately trying to create contact, aka I have no idea how this team is going to beat them, so let's just knock them out of the playoffs. Because why? We saw what happens to the Niners when you knock out their quarterback.
Yeah, like there's actually like they were like, what's a good game plan to beat the 49ers? And he was like, definitely can't do that unless we literally just injure a player. So our game strategy is to injure a player. But
that
I
tells
don't
you all you
understand
need
how
to know.
someone like I don't understand how someone like that has, and maybe it's just what they call their own show, but is that like when it's ESPN Milwaukee, is that like
ESPN
supported
Milwaukee, that's
by,
crazy.
but is that like supported by like actual ESPN? Because like, how
Yes,
is
they're a
he
radio
allowed to
station
say
because
that?
ESPN Radio has like a bunch of like key radio stations in every major city. They don't have one in the Bay Area, but I think they have ESPN LA. They might have ESPN Seattle. I think they have ESPN Portland too, surprisingly. But they have like probably like 15 in major cities like that. But yeah, that's if that guy said that, it's probably because he's usually not saying something that outrageous because he probably would have been caught beforehand. So the fact he said that tells me one, like, okay, you're freaking wild and way too old school, and you're kind of a little bit of a scum for doing that. And number two, you saying that without even trying to make an analytical
It felt
case.
like his coworkers. For anyone, we should maybe describe
I
it for
didn't watch
anyone
the
who hasn't.
video. I just
Okay,
watched the
I
quote
did.
because once I saw what he said, I was like, I'm not gonna watch this. This guy's stupid.
Basically, a reporter for a ESPN Milwaukee, a radio station. I think it was about 3 guys in the clip that I saw,
Mhm.
and one of the guys asked the main guy who was speaking, what is a pathway to victory for the Green Bay Packers over the San Francisco 49ers? And the main guy basically advocated that one of the Packers defenders get a penalty for roughing the passer and take Brock Purdy out of the game. And he said it would be worth it. The penalty would be worth it as long as they did it bad enough. Basically, meaning they hurt Brock Purdy. Like, it would be worth the penalty if they hurt Brock Purdy enough to take him out of the game. And while he was doing this, all the other 3 guys kept trying to like interrupt him and be like, oh, like, you don't really mean that. And he was like, no, like, you got to take him out. Like, we got to be old school around here. Like, which, first of all, if you're, that much of a fan, like, to me, that kind of shows that you have no faith in your team, that you can't come up with any game plan strategy other than like to illegally hit the guy. I don't know. It was very scumbag behavior. Didn't we hear something similar from a Eagles reporter before the Eagles game too? Bad luck, Green Bay. Bad luck.
I don't know about necessarily knocking out your quarterback and hurting and injuring him. I don't think anyone was that controversial like the Eagles, but of course anyone in the Eagles media says a bunch of quack things. But that one to me was just so wild. It's like, yeah, like you hit the nail on the head. It's 1,000% like, dude, you can't even think of a game plan to say for this guy that's what you got to try to knock them out. I mean, hey, like to me, I actually view the Packers as a more serious threat than before. Not like a serious threat that they can actually beat the 49ers. Like, I give them more chance than I did before. But in terms of like, dude, you're coming off this game where you just went into Dallas and you sunned the Cowboys, and you can't have there's not one mental energy, one brain cell in your head that can speak for the game that's going to be played. But no, it's just, no, we'll just get them knocked the hell out. Like, what? And it comes up, you know what else? It comes up, what comes crazier too? It comes off 3 days after we just saw Tyler Higbee get his knee blown out by the safety.
Yeah.
So it's like, yeah, that's
and
pretty
that
much
was
what you're
right after
advocating
he
for.
took out who was the Vikings tight end?
Yeah, Hawkinson.
Yeah. Do you think?
So, I mean,
what do you think about that? I meant to ask Eric Crocker, and I never did.
NFL issue.
Do you think because they suspended high hits?
Because that's what they want. That's literally the rule. Don't hit up high, go low, which is the stupidest thing ever. And as someone with literally a recovering ACL, hit me square in the fucking head. I'd rather get concussed and be ruined for a week than have a year of my life taken away from my knee and possibly, like, dude, like, no, those are career enders. Like, no, that's not comparable right there.
Especially sucks like last game of the year, because that means it's going to affect him going into next year.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Yeah. It's terrible, terrible. Niner Gang also said Sean Payton got suspended for that type of behavior. And that's what's interesting too. Like, if Green Bay's defensive coordinator, if it leaked that he was saying that same stuff that radio guy was saying, he'd get suspended or taken out of fired from his position. Crazy. Absolutely not.